Well, I've studied the housing market for the last 15 years, and it's really good because I've been able to live through different market cycles. Obviously, there's peaks and troughs, and also you can see where certain buyer groups are very active or less active, whether it's first home buyers, investors, or upgraders. When you actually study the new housing market, particularly in Victoria, it is extremely reliant on investors, and it's mainly foreign investors, whether that's for built to sell apartments or increasingly built to rent apartments, or even in the townhouse or the house and land space. And if we're going to get anywhere near the level of dwellings that we need in Victoria to house the growing population, because we're the fastest growing city and we're going to be 8 million people by 2050, which is actually bigger than London. So we need the infrastructure, but we also need the supply of new dwellings.
Yes.
We're not going to get there unless we actually have the correct tax and investment settings for overseas investors and I suppose also domestic investors. In 2015, when the greenfield market and the apartment market was substantially stimulated, it's one of the few times we actually delivered close to what we need to get to for the housing targets, either at the federal level or at the state level. There are a number of incentives which made investors very attracted to the state, set the right signals. Investors heavily invested in Melbourne, and it was fantastic because we had new supply of dwellings, whether that is owner-occupied dwellings or rented dwellings. Unfortunately, Melbourne has gone from being one of the lowest tax jurisdictions to one of the highest taxed jurisdictions. Now, I appreciate that we don't have the luxury of being able to rely on, for example, the commodities boom like some of the other states, but one of our primary sectors is the property sector. And unfortunately, over the last 10 to 15 years, there's been a number of increased charges upon surcharges, which quite simply have initially leveled the playing field up, and investors looked at Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and there were similar amounts, and then unfortunately it's gone the other way. And now investors looking to place their money into Australia look at some of the other jurisdictions and go, well, there's less tax from those jurisdictions. They are sending the right market signals. It's almost like they want our investments, so we'll move it elsewhere.